you have been so inspirational to so many throughout the city because of your own journey.
Yeah.
And you have been a professional, you've worked in the corporate world, you've been part of the philanthropy of the city, and then your story changed who you are and what has happened and inspired you. Do you want to tell our friends a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It definitely changed the trajectory of my life. You know, we hear a lot of people say, you've got to go through really hard stuff or something that really, dramatic that happens to you, literally changes your life. And that happened to me September 14th, 2019. My world blew up through an act of betrayal. I lost everything. And I was in my mid-50s. Yeah. I often say, I was talking to a friend yesterday, had that happened in my 20s or 30s, I might have bounced back a little bit. But that, I lost everything. I lost my savings, I lost my home, I was homeless. So needless to say, anybody that goes through anything like that, you fall into a dark place. And that's where I was. And it was because of a courageous conversation that I had with my best friend. Her husband and her took me and my dog in. I stayed with them for 7 months. I was homeless for 20 months. I moved 5 times during the pandemic. So that added another layer, right? Because when I went into the hospital, I had this courageous conversation with my friend Judy, who is also someone diagnosed with bipolar. So she's somebody I could have these rich conversations with and trusted.
Yeah.
And I told her what I was thinking about, and I was thinking about exiting. And she said something very profound.
It's an interesting way to say what I know you're saying.
Yeah. It was just too much for me to bear. And she, at the time, and she said this to me, Susan, you need more help than I can give you, and you need to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
That landed like, it was hard to hear. But
it's easier to acknowledge that you're dealing with some of these feelings than it is to actually admit you have that problem that you have to be in the hospital for.
Yeah, I needed help.
Yeah.
I needed help. And this was March. I went in, so the next day she held my hand and we walked into the Queensway Carleton Hospital.
Yeah.
They assessed me very quickly. I was in there for a couple of weeks. But check out the date. That was March 11th, 2020. March 13th, that Friday was when COVID kind of swept the world.
Yeah, I remember. I was a cabinet minister at the time.
So when I came out a couple of weeks later, there was masks, there was frenzy, there was fear. My friends were reluctant to take me back.
Of course. Especially coming from the hospital.
Right?
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, it was the beginning of my healing journey, Lisa.
Yeah.
And it was because of that courageous conversation that I'm here today.
Yeah.
So then Dare to Be Vulnerable was born.
Yeah.
And it originally started off by, wanting to do these kind of conversations with people that were struggling. And then we were invited to attend to present at an event on Bell Let's Talk Mental Health Day, 2023, January, by our friend Veronica.
Yes.
And then that snowballed into these beautiful events that I call courageous conversations with farmers. We did last November. That was so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's just people that are courageous enough to share their story. We all have a mental health story.
Yes.
We all have a mental health. That's a big part of my messaging, right?